always come up. I climb up here and I go to the side door to get in. So come on in and I'll show you around. We'll do a tour. Hang on. Be careful. Sweet. So it's funny, in week 1 of doing this show and uploading to YouTube, we had this radio tower up here. Funny thing, we built it ourselves and, you know, it worked for what it was, but then we got about $11 on our Patreon so we could afford to buy all this equipment. One day before we got all the money to buy this equipment, I was in a rage. I was in a creative slump and I actually destroyed this radio tower. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Here, a lot of people have come by and thrown their name back here. I drew that. 5A. That's me. I'm tucked away. And I want to be on my own. Unless you need something from me. And you got something from me. A little trade-off. We do the barter system here. Please don't just draw little pictures about your name. I don't care about your name. Okay? Anyway. Check this out here. If you're here listening, I'm ready to talk. If you're ready to talk, your mommy loves you. Come to the studio. We all love you here. We miss you. Come to mommy. These raw... Oh shit, my bag's been open this whole time. Sometimes I like to pretend I'm summoning the rocks closer. Just the way time and space seem to cave in on me under high pressure moments in my life. The way they cave in without my asking, I like to pretend I have the power to control that. So I say, come to mama. And I bring the rocks closer and closer and closer and closer. And I close my eyes and I squint my eyes and I go like this. And I feel safe when I'm in control. I feel safer. He departed. He's deceased now. I didn't do anything. I had nothing to do with it. I love them. I love the guy. So why don't we take a look up out this mirror window over here that we like to usually gaze out upon when we're pondering such things, ideas for our next episode. You can see stacks of paperwork and books, just artistic images that we stare at for inspiration and such. One of my favorite windows to look upon, gaze out of. We only go in through the back. Right now, the front door and windows are barred. I really don't like anyone seeing what I'm doing in there, so I took it upon myself to hammer it up, lock it up, throw away the key. So look here. Look at this mountain. Sometimes little deer gallop up and down these cliffs, which is interesting. When they get lost and separate from their mothers, they end up smelling us here in the studio and kind of looking over to see what's going on. And what'll happen is their little hooves will get stuck about halfway down, and when I'm gazing down, I'll say, "All right, let's hook this little guy up," and I'll pick it up. I'll bring her in the studio, and we'll put on like a little pair of shoes for her so she doesn't hurt herself, and we'll just put her back up on the mountain so she doesn't lose sight of her mama. We feed her mainly a sauerkraut diet. We don't really keep any food except jarred, um, preserved food, self-preserving food, if you will. So we've got a number of teas, live cultures, sauerkrauts, and other forms of cabbage and seeds. Thinking as much as possible, like the great thinkers of our time would climb to the highest peak, the tippy top of a mountain, and try to figure out what the next step was. Try to figure out what the meaning of life was. Ah, yes, the great men that speak this time of year on all the things that make more sense to them. I wish I could be that way, because as everyone's getting on and moving forward with their lives, becoming orderly and thinking of what they're going to do in the year to come, 2026, I can't help but think, I don't know anything I'm going to do. And everything I do, I don't know why I do it. It's all horseshit. But here I am carrying on at the top of a hill, just like the greats did. The greats who were the great thinkers of one time or another, or the money men in their penthouses coming up with the next invention. They're up in their high risers, the big shots, not of the mind, but of the future. Are they more important, the penthouse people or the mountain people? We don't know. The mountain people have gone away, and all we have left are penthouses. We always think at the highest peaks for one reason or another. Is it to be closer to heaven? Is it to give the impression that we are above everyone else's thought process and wavelength? Are we at the tippy top of the mountain? Ugh, my ear's so itchy. Are we in the penthouse of the mind right now? How do you find an exit in the penthouse of the mind? Well, you either jump because you can't handle it, or you figure out a way to get to the very bottom level with the peasant people that have no clue. Oh, God. This plane just sprayed me entirely, and I'm just going to surrender to it for a while. I can't feel any of my limbs right now, so just give me one moment to move on and reject the fluid from the plane. What else? Cuckoo. 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 I think it's a rook. I think it's a baby crow. Cuckoo. You hear that? Uh. Wait. What about the squeaky one that goes? That's a seagull. Blowbird, not to be confused with the bluebird. Kind of a funny little fella too. I seen one walking past my apartment, like just one. It's the same one every time, and he doesn't even fly. He doesn't even use our bird feeder. He just hops past the apartment and like waits for like the light to say walk, and then he just crosses the street. I don't know where he goes, where he's migrating to, but he's doing it like on a small scale migration. And he's a new species, I guess, or he's maybe a really old species. He thinks he's developed because he's acting human, but he's actually screwing himself over because he's only going like 2 blocks in like a month. And whereas all of his buddies that he sees around are like all the way down south. So it's kind of sad. The the hooter. Some of the rooks kind of do the same stuff. Like the rook basically is just like a baby crow, and it can't even fly anyway. Like it becomes like an adult, but it's still puny and stupid, and it just sits on the tree. It doesn't even migrate by walking across the street like a human. It doesn't even migrate because it just doesn't leave the tree, and then you have to just shoot them off, or you say knock it off. Like they go like.